put the lampshade on, right?
Yeah, man. Someone's got to do it.
That's Miss Yoakum. She's just quiet in class, but she's the one that has the lampshade. Aren't you, Miss Yoakum? We know you're the partier.
I'm too old to party.
Oh my Lord. I'm there with you, Miss Yoakum. I'm there with you. All right, we got some questions on 3.1. I got a couple of questions, 3.1 and 3.3. Then I'm going to look through those chapter 2s. I have a couple of students that were out of town and sick and all, and I extended the test. I can't remember. Is the chapter 2 closed? Yes or no?
I believe it is.
Okay. Well, I'll go over those just as a kind of a refresher for y'all. Some of y'all need it. You can always go back in your grade book and review your chapter 2. So anyway, to make a long story short, I'll go through those. We'll just make today a homework day, and hopefully y'all won't complain too much. All right, so 3.3, let's go with 3.1. 3.1, 88/11. 3.1, 88/11. First of all, is it a test question? Oh, yes, this is a test question. So remember, f of x is equal to 3x plus 4. G of x is equal to 2x minus 7. And they want you to add them together like you did in pre-algebra. So we're gonna do it just like they did in pre-algebra. We're gonna do it. We're not gonna raise our pinkies up. We're just gonna do it like we did in pre-algebra. So 3x plus 4 plus 2x minus 7. And that's going to be, there's a 1 there. There's a plus 1 there. Distribute. 5x. 4 minus 7 is -3. And that's your F. Now you can raise your pinky and go F plus G of x. There you go. Pre-algebra, the way you did it in pre-algebra. Hold your pinky up and call it F plus G of x. Second one says F minus G. Well, that's the way you did in pre-algebra. 3x plus 4 minus 2x minus 7. There's a plus 1 here and a -1 here. You distribute the plus 1, you get 3x plus 4. You distribute the -1, you get minus 2x plus 7. 3x minus 2x is x. 4 plus 7 is 11. And this is F minus G of x. Hold your pinky up. Again, this is what you did back in Algebra 1, pre-algebra. And then you just hold your pinky up and say F minus G of x is x plus 11. F times G of x. Well, in pre-algebra, Algebra 1, you did 3x plus 4 times 2x minus 7. And you were told to use the FOIL method. First, outer, inner, then last. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times -7 is -21x. 4 times 2x is 8x. And 4 times -7 is -28. And 6x squared minus 21 plus 8 is -13, I believe. And there is your f times g of x, which you did back in Algebra 1, Algebra 2, you just did it like that. Now, there's not really anything to f divided by g because you can't do anything. So you just put 3x plus 4 over 2x minus 7. That's all you can do. F divided by g of x. So these 4 you've been doing since what? Algebra 1 or pre-algebra? These 4, you've been doing them for 2 or 3 years as far as algebra goes. Now they want you to do f composed of g and g composed of f. Now that's the one that a lot of people are kind of, you know, suck at. F of x is equal to 3x plus 4. G of x is equal to 2x minus 7. And let's see what they want. They want f composed of j and j composed of f. F composed of j and j composed of f. Basically plug g into f. I'm going to write that down right here. Plug g into f. Plug f into g. Because, as I showed you before, the first letter, you're going to rewrite f with a big set of parentheses. Here, you're going to rewrite g with a big set of parentheses. So we're going to do that first. Get my orange marker here. I'm going to rewrite f, 3, big set of parentheses, plus 4. Here, I'm going to write g, 2, big set of parentheses, plus or minus 7. And yellow means I'm going to plug that into, plug this into, and g is 2x minus 7, and f is 3x plus 4. Now you're just going to do your algebra. If I had been taught this when I was at Tri-County, it would have made things a whole lot easier. But they used all the f of x's and g of x's, and they put a g of x here and a f of x here, and it just messed me all up. So 6x minus 7, oops, I'm sorry, minus 21 plus 4 is 6x minus 17. Please check my math. I think I did that right. Here is 6x plus 8 minus 7, 6x plus 1. And that is a good test question. Everybody good? Nobody gonna say anything? Okay, fine. I'm not going to type all those in. No, I'm not going to do that. They're right. Next, 3.2, 23/11. 3.2/11. Is this a test question? Yes. And I'm going to tell you this right now. 60% of your test is going to be completing the square. You can write that down. 60% of your test is going to be completing, well, 50%. 50% of your test is going to be completing the square. All right. The rest of, I'd say probably 20% is going to be using the square root property. Okay. Now, remember, you can't take the square root of a what? That means I want somebody to say something. That's called a QUE.
Negative number.
You can't take the square root of a negative number. Here we've got 6k minus 1 quantity squared is equal to negative 125. Now, the first thing you're going to do here is you got to take the square root, because you can't do anything on this side unless you bust up that squared parentheses thing. So I'm going to take my handy dandy orange marker, and I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And this is okay, but over here, this little flag goes up that says you can't take the square root of a negative number. So this guy right here, this means no x-intercepts. Y'all see my middle finger is swollen? Y'all see that? I jammed it yesterday driving a T-post. Also cut my wrist too. It's swollen. Here. Swollen. I can barely bend it. We shouldn't have class today. All right. So that, let me get my red pen to cancel with. That square root cancels that square, and that's going to leave 6k minus 1 is equal to, and when you're dealing with a negative, you got to break it up into the square root of negative 1, square root of 125. And I believe the square root of 125 is 15. Let's see. No, you can't take the square root of 125. You can take the square root of 25. We'll do that. So 6k minus 1 is equal to, I'm going to highlight that square root of negative 1. Somebody tell me what the square root of negative 1 is, please.
I.
Thank you. Times the square root of 25 times the square root of 5. And 6k minus 1 is equal to 5i times square root of 5. And now you just got to bring the 1 over, take that across the river. It becomes plus 1. You put this in parentheses if you want to. So 6k is equal to 5i times the square root of 5 plus 1, and then divide by 6. So k is equal to 5i times the square root of 5 plus I over 6. Now, me personally, I don't care. That's fine with me. I don't know what they want as an answer. but I think you can get the answer from this. You could put plus or minus right here, and you could say 1 plus or minus 5i square root of 5 over 6. Some books like it to be in the form a plus bi, so they may want this one. But I'll take either one. And if you please try to do it with the directions so I won't have to change so many tests. But I think this one, I'm going to put this in green because this is probably the way they want it. So let's see if they do the a plus bi. They just divide it up into two fractions, a plus bi. The I is in the second part. So that's the answer. They just broke it up, and I'll show you what they did. They just put this over this, plus or minus this over this. So that'd be 1 over 6, plus or minus 5i, square root of 5 over 6. That's all they did. So there's 3 possible answers. But now you see they want it as a broken up fraction. So not as one fraction, but broken up. And the I comes second. A plus BI. Does that help? And nobody's going to say anything. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
It does.
Gotta love these relationships where there's no communication. Just gotta love them. Don't worry, some of y'all will have a relationship one day, and the other person will not communicate, and it'll drive you crazy. And you're going to remember me. All right, so let's do another problem. Let's see what this. We got 2.677. Let's see if y'all remember Chapter 2 material. Find the difference quotient. Oh yes, this is a test question. Anything difference quotient, that's a test question. So first of all, let's start off with the difference quotient. I ain't even going to look at the problem. The difference quotient is a fancy way of writing the what? Slope. F of x plus h minus f of x over h. And I told y'all that I like to do things in colors. So f of x plus h, we're going to do that in green. And we're going to do f of x in orange. So I've got to rewrite this sucker. And since we're going to be plugging in x plus 1, God, my finger looks huge there. Since I'm going to be plugging in f of x plus h into f of x, I need to put green parentheses around wherever there's an x. So our function is that function right there. So I've got to rewrite and take my green marker, and I'm going to make a big set of brackets here. And I'm going to rewrite -8 parentheses squared plus 7 times parentheses plus 6. And then I'm going to put a minus symbol and all this over h. And in orange, I'm just going to rewrite f of x, which is -8x squared plus 7x plus 6. Okay, so the green is rewrite f of x with a big set of parentheses because we've got to plug in x plus h into those parentheses. And the second part is just rewrite f of x, which I did right there. Are you going to do this 100% of the time? Yes. And now I'm going to take my magenta magenta. And I'm going to put in x plus h right here. It's like pink. It's not magenta. X plus h. And now I want everybody in here to do your algebra. Get to it. Give you a minute. If you can't do it, that means that you're a failure. And you lay out of school on Fridays, right, Mr. Vogt?
Man, you lost me when you said
no,
magenta.
What? I
said you lost me when you said magenta. I don't even know what that is.
You never watched Blue's Clues?
I've seen this.
I watched Blue's Clues with my kids with Steve. When they had that other guy come in, I didn't watch it no more.
Stop watching too. I still have to watch the video where Steve came back, man. I heard.
Oh yeah, it was
sweet.
Posted
the video.
It was.
Yeah, I remember. I remember watching Blue's Clues. Because I had this stuffed animal that, like, you know, that one stuffed animal that everyone had that that was the one you kept with you until you were like 11. Anyway, I named it Blue Dog. And it was literally a blue dog.
Well, I let my kids watch SpongeBob and I let my kids watch Blue's Clues. But they were not allowed to watch the Wiggles. They were not allowed to watch the Teletubbies. And they sure as hell wasn't allowed to watch Caillou because there was something wrong with that kid.
Oh, yeah. My mom said that kid's parents are too liberal. You're not watching it.
Amen to that. He was a spoiled brat. And there was something wrong with him because his hair didn't grow. There's something wrong with that kid.
And then she wouldn't let me watch SpongeBob either because she thought it was stupid. But I mean,
no, I love SpongeBob. My favorite character on SpongeBob is Plankton and Squidward.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite. All right, so there we go. And I'm going to write M right here. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this, and y'all not going to like to hear this. But does anybody know why people can't do calculus? Because this is calculus right here. This is your first unit of calculus right here. Does anybody know why students can't do calculus?
Is it because they look at the problem and then they see all of the stuff and then they don't want to do it?
You're getting there.
Too much work.
They're not patient.
Well, yeah, it's too much work. What did the last person say?
Lazy. I said they're not patient enough.
They're not patient enough. Well, y'all are all working toward the right answer, but the reason people can't do calculus is they suck at what? They suck at algebra. Because 90% of calculus is advanced algebra. This right here. This is your first unit of calculus right here, the difference quotient. In fact, I'm teaching this to my 130 class now, except they got an extra step that y'all don't have that we don't see here. All right, so I'm just saying, if some of y'all are heading to calculus, make sure you study what I'm doing right now because you're going to see it again. So -8, that's shortcut number 1. It's going to be x squared. Oh, me, the things I do for y'all. X squared plus 2xh plus 8 squared. And that's shortcut number 1 that we've been talking about all during the review and everything, and I'm not going back and doing that now. So you need to go back and look at the review. Plus, let's see, I'm going to do this. Plus 7 times x plus 7 times h minus 6 And then all you got to do now is distribute that negative. Negative, negative, negative. And that's going to make, let's see, orange. That's going to make negative and negative makes that a plus 8x squared. And negative makes that a negative 7x. And negative makes that a negative 6. All that over h. And now you just got to distribute this. And that's going to be negative. That's going to be a negative. And that's going to be a negative. It's supposed to be green, sorry. I switched my caps, sorry. That's going to be negative 8, negative 16, and negative 8. And then that's going to be x squared, xh, and h squared. Plus 7x plus 7h minus 6.
It's supposed to be a plus 6.
Negative 8x squared minus 7x minus 6. Somebody say something?
I was saying that first 6 is supposed to be a plus 6.
Oh, thank you. I
You know.
don't know why I changed it to negative. Sorry about that. Well, the colors are driving me crazy, so I'm going to fix the colors. So I'm done with the colors because I'm going to make everything black now because I'm tired of fooling with them. Okay? So what do you find out happens after you do all this? Find out some of them are going to what? Cancel. That's what's supposed to happen here. So the negative x, 8x cancels. Wait a minute. That's supposed to be a plus right there. There we go. Plus 8x minus 8x cancels. 7x cancels with that 7x. Negative 6 cancels with that plus 6. So now all you're left with is h terms. Is that supposed to happen? Yes. So now you just rewrite it. M is equal to negative 16xh minus 8h squared plus 7h over h. M is equal to h, negative 16x minus 8h plus 7. And the h's cancel. And your final answer for this algebraic, because in calculus you take it one step further, is negative 16x minus 8h plus 7. And that's your algebraic answer. You get 1 or 2 or maybe 3 of these on the test. One or two of them will be short, and then you'll get one. It's going to be.
How many problems are on the test?
I have no idea because 1, I haven't even pulled up the test, and 2, I haven't even edited it.
I got you.
But you'll have at least 90 minutes. The test will be 50 minutes long because I can make it fit into 50 minutes. but you'll have an extra 40 minutes to do it. Everybody has an extra 40 minutes.
Cool.
All right. So that's a good test question. Let's look at another chapter 2 question and see if this is a test question. Let's see if we got it right, so you can see if the algebra is correct. Negative 16x. Ow, my finger is hurting. Minus 8h. 7. And you feel good about yourself. Well, that takes care of that one. 2.6. 2.673. 2.673. 2.673. Is it a test question? Yeah, this is the one I would give you on a test versus that long one where you had to do plus and minus, multiplication and division. This is the one I like to give you on a test because it's only one thing. So f of x is equal to 2x minus 1, and g of x is equal to x squared minus 3. And they want f composed of g, which means plug g into f. Or you could just rewrite it and take your highlighters and say, okay, I'm going to write f with a big set of parentheses. So that means I'm going to rewrite 2x minus 1. So that's going to be 2 with a big set of parentheses minus 1. And then I'm going to take my yellow marker and I'm going to plug g into x squared minus 3. All right, now do it. Do your algebra. I got shortcut. I'm sorry, you don't have shortcut. Oh, wait a minute. X squared. No, you don't have a shortcut. So go ahead and just a little bit of algebra here. Distribute that 2. You get 2x squared minus 6 minus 1. And what is negative 6 minus 1?
Negative 7.
And that should be it. Yeah, I like that one for a test question. So you go back to the handy dandy question and type in 2x squared, 2x shift up arrow squared, shift right, minus 7.
Wait, it said, oh,
I have no idea what the problem is.
it's not.
Oh, we
it's
got to
a
plug in negative 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that till just now. So plug in negative 3. F composed of g of negative 3 means after I get f composed of g, I got to plug it in there. So 2 times negative 3 squared minus 7 is 2. Negative 3 squared is what? 9?
9.
Minus 7. 18 minus 7 is 11. So 11 is your answer. Usually they ask you for the formula first, then they tell you to plug in. So we got to type in 11. Now you could have plugged in negative 3. I'll show you that right quick. I'm just going to use this right here, and we'll do this in purple. We'll go over here. You could have plugged in -3 first. Yeah, you could have done that. And then plugged in -3 right here. And that would have been, let's see, -3 squared minus 3. And that would have been 9 minus 3 is 6. And then you could have took 6 and plugged that in here because it's F composed of G. So you got to, whatever you do with G, you got to plug it back into F. So 2 times 6 minus 1 is 12 minus 1, which is 11. You could have done that. So you could have plugged in -3 into G and then plugged that into F. Or you could have done the algebra first and then plugged 3 into your final answer. Either way, you'll get 11. You'll get the same answer. Next question. 2.6, 65, 6. 2.6, 65, 6. 2.6, 65, 6. Is it a test question? Okay, we already did it, but I'll just go through it. F of x is equal to 6x minus 9. G of x is equal to 1/6 parentheses x plus 9. And they want F composed of G and G composed of F. So F composed of G and G composed of F. So I'm going to rewrite F with a big set of parentheses. And I'm going to rewrite G with a big set of parentheses. So 6 parentheses minus 9 and 1/6 black parentheses, and then inside the black parentheses a big set of orange parentheses plus 9. Wherever there's an X, I write a big set of parentheses. And take my yellow marker, and I'm going to plug in G and M. So G is 1/6 x plus 9. And F is 6x minus 9. Now, here, we've got to distribute that 1/6 with the x plus 9. So, what is that noise, Mr. Galen?
My phone is on my table, and my table, I got a email
That's
from the cross country team. Sorry.
That's all right. All right, there's a 1 right here because there's nothing there, so I'm going to distribute that 1 to get rid of parentheses. That's just a technicality. So here we've got 6 times parentheses 1/6x plus 9/6 minus 9. And the reason that's parentheses is these parentheses right here, they're still there. I just got rid of the yellow parentheses. These parentheses, that'd be 1/6 times 6x. What's negative 9 plus 9? 0. These two actually cancel after you remove the parentheses. So this answer is x. 6x over 6 is x. Let's see what happens up here. This 6 distributed here and here is going to be 6 over 6x plus 6 times 9 over 6 minus 9. And what happens to the 6's? They cancel here and here. And you're left with x plus 9 minus 9. And what happens to the 9's? So your answer is x. These two are equal. F composed of G came out to be X. And G composed of F came out to be X. And that's it. Yes, they're equal. Question, gripe, complaint. And you could also try this. Six x minus 9 is equal to 1/6 x plus 9. Now that you know they're equal to each other, see what happens when you, like, I don't know, see if you, see what happens when you set them equal to each other. See what happens. 6x minus 9 is equal to 1/6x plus 9 over 6. And you got to have a common denominator, so I'm going to put a 6 over here, a 1 and a 1. So that's going to be, let's see, a 6 and a 6. 1 will go into 6. 6 times 6 is 36x. 1 will go into 6. 9 times 6 is 54. Equals 1/6x plus 9/6. And I'm going to take this across the river. 36x minus 1x over 6 is equal to, take this across the river, plus 54x, 54 over 6. And it's not going to come out the way I wanted it to. So that's going to be 54 plus 9 is 63. No, 63 over 6. And this is going to be 35 over 6. X is equal to 63 over 6. And multiply both sides by 6 over 35. 6 over 35, yeah, that ain't gonna come out like I wanted it to. Well, that you don't have to do that. I was just playing. All right. Okay, it's about time to go. So let's see if there's a quick one or another one. This is 2.6. This is composition. I think we've already covered enough composition to help you out. Let's see if it's the same type question. Yeah, it's the same type question. You just got to do parentheses. If you do those parentheses like I told you, it'll help out tremendously. All right, let me take the roll. And the reason I got to take the roll is some of y'all going to start self-combusting. So I got to take the roll before